Hi, my name is Megan Milani. I'm Brooklyn-based. I'm originally from New Orleans, but I live in Brooklyn now. I work in Brooklyn. This is where my studio is. I find it truly the best place for inspiration. I love to start with just the water first. I kind of feel like it gives like a better stick, and I like to go in and dab around so that the color, once I add it, doesn't like bleed too much, and it sticks with like the movement of the gauze. You can imagine how tedious this gets, but it's like such a mesmerizing part of the process. There's so many people that see my pieces and without even knowing that I am a scientist on the side, they say it looks like they're looking through a microscope, which I always find so interesting because, like, truthfully, it's not necessarily like my conscious inspiration, but there's just no way that the number of hours that I have looked into a microscope, there's just no way there isn't that like subconscious inspiration there. And I do think there's like something beautiful at looking at like just like the cellular level of life and of like us and everything, the world around us. I said before that I don't really like necessarily know when I'm done with the layer, but I actually do kind of love to let it dry every once in a while so that like a particular portion bleeds together and then the next layer is more like a layer and it isn't bleeding in with the initial element. So I'll keep going with this layer, but ultimately, I am going to want this to dry so that every time I add paint, it isn't just all bleeding together. I'm preparing for a show at 812 Royal Gallery in September. It's my first solo show. It'll be called Layered, which really represents kind of the layers that you'll see in my pieces, not just in like layers of color, but layered in texture. I love to use gauze and ink on top of the watercolor to really like bring it alive and bring out that like contrast in color and contrast in texture that really draws me to my natural environment and the environment around me. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a really fun collection of pieces. There's a ton of color, a ton of texture, and I think rooting them in these places and these like photos that I've seen in all of my travels and around my neighborhood, and even some of the pictures are just like my curtains upstairs in my apartment. It all has like really created for this like cohesive feeling theme, and I feel just like super connected to these pieces.